Today we are going to break the fourth wall. I'm going to walk you through a couple of different ways that I'm using AI tools to help improve what we're doing within Catalyst Acts, what I'm doing with clients that I work with, and how I'm ideally going to improve the way that we get our message across. This will also show a couple of the ways that we're working as a team. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to take this video, I'm going to record it like we're doing right now. I'm going to put it into Camtasia and edit it with Camtasia and Audiate. Audiate will allow me to do some text-based editing. You'll see some of the cuts in there based on that. I will also be able to export a script. I'm going to take that script and I'm going to load it into a couple of different GPTs that we've created that have specific jobs to be done and show you what the output looks like. And I'm going to stitch all of that stuff here into this in one way, shape, or form through the magic of editing. And I hope it helps you think a little bit differently about how you might be able to use some of these AI tools that are out there. And there's a benefit to going in and using tools at a personal level to test and work through things that you're running into at home or at live, that then you can start to apply the tools, concepts, and thinking to the way that you generate money in the work that you do. Now, if you're running your own business like I am, you've got a little bit more flexibility, and I understand that. I use a combination of ChatGPT and a couple of specific GPTs to do certain things. Specifically, I'm able to use one GPT to create podcast show notes. I'm able to use another GPT to create the Learn.Think.Act that we put out there on Sundays. And I'm able to use another version of the GPT to create a summarized version of the weekly Leader Lab calls that we record on Tuesdays and then share an overview with Leader Lab members on a weekly basis. I'm going to take the video version of this and I'm going to load it into Notebook LM. When I load it into Notebook LM, I'm going to have Notebook LM do a quick summary of the video and then record an audio version of what has happened. Now, I'm going to do all of this stuff live and I'm going to use some editing to help shrink it down, but ultimately, I'll give you the timeline. I started recording this. It is now 2:13 in the afternoon, so we'll work backward and we'll figure out the actual time. But we'll see how quickly I'm able to put this together. Again, these are all tools that are available to you. There are some other ones that we're using in the business, including Claude and Perplexity, to do certain things. When thinking about AI tools, the thing that I like to think about is, what is the specific job to be done? If I understand the job to be done, the thing that I want to accomplish, then I can start to determine which tool is the best tool to use to help accomplish that job. When you see this, I hope you think different, do different, and ultimately be different when it comes to the way that you're interacting with AI. Let me know if it helps. I feel like I'm in an Escher painting. We're going in the loop, and deeper in the loop. So here I've got Audiate that's up here. I just finished editing the text from the video that you may have just watched or you're going to watch next. It all just depends on how this ends up getting stitched together. And now I want to take that information and go ahead and drop it into the tools that we use. We'll go ChatGPT. I'm going to have it do a podcast show notes first using the same text information, February 12th, hit open. And I'm going to say that Mike Simmons is the guest. And you can see it's quickly loading in key quotes, a general 50 words summary, and then key takeaways. Now, this is a GPT that I created a number of months ago to help speed up our production process when it comes to creating show notes for the podcast. So any of the show notes that you've seen for probably about the last 5 months or so are driven by this specific GPT. And again, this is something I created directly in ChatGPT. I could go in and edit this. I've shared this as a public GPT. If you're a listener and you'd like to use it or test it, just send me a direct message and I'm happy to provide access to you. Now, another version of this, I can go ahead and drop in if I want to do a Learn.Think.Act, which for any of you who've looked at the newsletter that we put out on Sundays, you can see this Learn.Think.Act. I'm going to go ahead and drop that same text file in here and hit enter. Every once in a while, it'll hallucinate a little bit. So what I'll do is say, follow the original instructions. It's going to keep put together a pretty clear or quick Learn.Think.Act that we can use for this specific episode transcript. And again, this is all content that I created. I recorded this content earlier today. It was about 2.5, maybe 3 minutes of content. I go ahead and drop that in there. And then if I wanted to do a short version that we do for the Phoenix Club, another version of this, I can go ahead and upload this. And the key thing that I think that's important for everybody to see here, how I like to use this, is each of these GPTs have a specific job to be done. I know what the specific job to be done is. They've been designed to do that specific job. And then now, just like the other workflow or process or human, if you had them doing it, I can give them the input and the output is delivered to me in the context of what I expect for that specific output. I've had a little bit of fun with this one, which is my secret decoder. So how do we take my words and make them a little bit easier to understand, make them simple? And this is what that looks like. These are just a couple of simple ways that you can use something like ChatGPT to help speed up the work that you're putting together. Again, this is all content I've created, and then I'm working together with the machine to help get the messaging out there quicker and faster and in a way that's a bit more relevant to the audience. So that's specific around ChatGPT. The other tool that I've used in here is Audiate, which is a product that allows me to do text-based editing. And the third one that I'm not going to get into that I thought I might get into is what would happen if this is dropped into Notebook LM. Actually, heck, if you want to see Notebook LM and how it applies in here, here's an example of what I've done feeding Notebook LM with 3 of the videos that I've created around using a jobs to be done framework to apply to the meeting challenge. These are all public videos that I have out on YouTube. You can see the prompts that Notebook LM puts in here and what it recommends. And then if I go in here and do this load, it will go through the process and create an audio conversation where 2 AI co-hosts will debate and discuss the content that I share in those 3 videos. I think these tools are super powerful. If you're not using them in one way, shape, or form, and here you go. This one's 32 minutes. We'll hit, I'll put it in the middle of it.
Needs to be done.
This goes back to that clarity piece.
Yes.
Every meeting needs a clear purpose.
Exactly.
A defined outcome.
Okay, and then finally you outline those next steps.
So pretty awesome to see these tools come together. There are a couple of different perspectives. You could look at this and say this is a little bit freaky. I actually am excited about it. So there you go. Awesome stuff. Hope you're having an awesome day. Hit me up with any questions.